Hello. This is Terrell Hall of Fame, D-Line, and this here is Bully Rants, but it's not a rant. I got a question about confirmation, and a lot of people, and I know it was newer people, and I'm glad to help you. By the way, I'm very glad to help you with this. But when we were talking about, you always hear people talk about movement. And the reason that movement is so important is because movement is a telltale sign of how well the dog is put together. And what I mean by that is if the legs are a little bowed, you'll see a switch, or you'll see a little shake in the rear end. If the dog is easty westy, you'll see a lot of times you'll see that same sort of weird movement in the front end. Sometimes it just transfers through the whole body depending on the flaw that it is. If it's a high rear, of course the movement will be a little bit funny. At the same time, a cowhawk dog moves a little bit funnier because you see the switch. I'm going to tell you, if you truly want to see like a very good dog in motion, what you should see, and I won't just call out a dog, but I will, as a matter of fact. You can go to a guy, his name is Eric Williams, and it says Fat. I think it still says Fat Daddy Kennels, but it might just say Eric Williams. He has a dog named Bison, and he has a great video up of his dog just moving around the yard. When you have an animal that moves great, it's almost like his back, like you could sit something on his back, and even though he's running, it still doesn't move. Like you feel like you could sit a damn wine glass on their back and they won't move. And the reason why it moves like that, the reason why it doesn't move is because everything with the dog, from his hips to his front end movement to everything, is on line with each other. So it's a very smooth. It's nothing herky jerky about the motion, and you will hardly ever find a dog that has a front end or a rear end issue that has great movement. The movement thing, and the reason why people are stuck on that is because typically a dog that has great movement, I will repeat that, a dog that has great movement generally has everything else together. And it's a great sign that this dog is very well put together. The smallest little thing can throw movement off, but that's for good reason. We need to focus on movement because at the same time, that movement represents strong health also. Because if you find a dog that's moving very well, you won't find a dog with bad elbows or bad hips. Now maybe, I don't know, somewhere out there, but normally that doesn't happen. If a dog has bad elbows, hips, anything going on with the back or whatever, the motion is always off. So this is like the great equalizer. If you find that dog that just moves real good, real smooth, and you see his front end is moving straight ahead, his rear end is moving straight ahead, not slanted in, not slanted out, none of that. When you see him moving straight ahead, that back stays level, and it's just nice and smooth, you know that in general, this dog is very well put together. And that's my experience, with not just this breed, but dogs in general. When you find that animal that everything fits, you rarely find bad movement, and definitely when you find a dog that everything doesn't fit, you'll rarely find good movement. So that's why people stress movement all the time, because you can go through all the stacking you want, and y'all seen people stack and they turn the feet that are easty westy in and make them straight. They teach dogs to squat their butts now to hide their high rears and all these other tricks, but there's no trick to teaching a dog how to gait properly. The only difference is you either have good speed when you're gaiting, so especially with bigger dogs, when they're moving, you need, if they have a handler, the handler needs to move sort of fast to keep up with his long strides. Whereas if you have a little dog, you don't want to go too fast because sometimes they'll tend to do a little hop. You want to get at a good pace so this dog is in a natural, basically trot, and then you'll get to see his overall movement. So hopefully I somewhat explained that good. I know how to judge it. I'm not great at explaining it, but I hope that you get the importance of when you do see your dogs moving, or you're looking at other dogs, or even look to buy a puppy, you understand that movement is like absolutely phenomenal, and this is one thing that you have to be on point with. Alright, talk to y'all in the next one. Peace.